Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy Halloween, and welcome to another one of my horror movie reviews. This time we're going to be talking about Saw 3. But this isn't going to be the end of my, Halloween, horror movie reviews at all, okay? The whole point of this month was to take advantage of the holiday and, just use it to make horror movies more of a presence on my channel. And, I did a good amount of horror movie reviews, I think, but, I want to keep it up. There's ones I wish I would have reviewed before the end of October, but unfortunately didn't really get to all of them. So I'm just going to continue as if it's, Halloween every single month of the damn year. And that's just because, the main point of my channel really, you have my TV reviews, I have my movie reviews. But really, my favorite and most important things to do on it for me are my TV reviews and my horror movie reviews, so specifically. So it's not going to stop. I'm going to keep on trying to, peck away at my, stack of horror films I still need to watch over there. And once in a while bringing up some, bigger horror movies that I haven't talked about for some reason yet. And Saw 3 is actually one my girlfriend had me watch a night or two ago. I did do a review on the very first Saw movie, which I will link to at the end of the video, or you can just search my channel right now. I never got around to reviewing the second one. The first one I thought was pretty solid. I appreciated that I didn't like, there's a stereotype surrounding the Saw movies that they're torture porn, all about, gore and violence and everything, and partially, yeah. But the first one especially, it was definitely a lot more psychological. I mean, you have your two main characters in a room, you get their stories, pieced together throughout, their conversations back and forth, and yeah, there's some more brutal moments, but, it's definitely more like a psychological, horror movie or something like that, I think. The second one, excuse the voice crack. The second one wasn't bad. I don't think it was really as impactful or memorable as the first one. But it wasn't bad. Saw 3. I don't think it was quite as good as the first one either, but I did enjoy it a good amount more than the second. Which is kind of surprising because I always hear mixed opinions on where the Saw movie falls apart, or where the Saw films fall apart. I've heard some say the first one's great, the second one's fine, then after that, shit. Or you have my girlfriend who kind of likes all of them, but her favorite one actually ends up being 5, apparently, so, we all have opinions, so we'll see how it goes for me. But like I said, I do think Saw 3 is better than Saw 2. It came out in 2006, and it's, pretty much in the immediate aftermath of what happened at the end of Saw 2. Detective Matthews is still captured. But this mainly revolves around the premise of Jigsaw getting a hold of this woman named Lynn Denlin, played by Bahar Soomekh. I probably just butchered her name, I know I did. She has a pretty, she's at a pretty low point in her life. But she's brought in to conduct actual surgery on, Jigsaw John Kramer himself. Because of course his health is continuing to fail, and she has to do like this brain, tumor, type of surgery. I'm not really calling it the right thing. So there's that, but you also have, of course, a couple people, captured in traps, particularly, Angus MacFadyen as Jeff. I almost said his last name, but we're going to get to that in a few minutes. He has a sort of low, broken life of sorts. And, it's definitely more concentrated on, like, the gore factor than the first one was. But there are some pretty decent traps in this one. Like, at the beginning, we see this other detective from the second film, and she gets pretty much her ribcage torn apart, even though she already reached into this jar of acid and got the key. So there's definitely something different about Jigsaw, his setups this time, because, sometimes if the victims can figure it out, they could actually potentially get away. But apparently that's not the case on this round, because we have Amanda. Amanda we've seen a little bit in the earlier films, played by Shawnee Smith, and she's been groomed to do some Jigsaw's work herself. But she's also going through her own test from John Kramer's perspective that she's not fully aware of. So yeah, I like this one. I don't think it was great. I mean, I do think the first one is the best so far, but I'd only even give that maybe a B plus. I don't love the Saw movies, but they're not as simple as people say. I do find I'm one who likes multiple forms of horror. I appreciate the more suspenseful, sort of less focused on the gore stuff. I just like the pure build up of suspense and intensity kind of thing, like atmosphere. So then I can enjoy a lot of gore and violence. It's cool. So I appreciated traps like when Jeff met the guy who actually killed his son. Hit him with his car and killed his son. We see his arms are slowly being twisted as well as his legs and feet, and the way it snaps, it's pretty brutal. So in ways I did kind of like it. Then finally his head is twisted at the end, and that was Jeff's test, because he had to find forgiveness and try to get him out of that, but it went to shit anyway. Pretty decent acting from the guy who played Jeff. I thought he was alright. Let's see what else. Well, yeah, there's more to talk about. I'm just trying to figure out what I should get into next. Okay. But yeah, I thought the performances in the movie are pretty decent. Tobin Bell is fine as usual. At first he comes off like a little dull, but he kind of has that tone about him, but then he's pretty interesting and compelling, and we've seen brief flashes to what appears to be his wife. So I'm kind of curious to see how that story is laid out over the next couple, hopefully. And I even thought the girl who played Lynn did a pretty good job dealing with the stress of all, the obvious stress of all of that. And spoilers, okay, I'm guessing you've all seen Saw 3 at this point, but if you haven't, I apologize. But we find out that her and Jeff are actually, husband and wife. But over the son's death, they've just, been broken apart. She's cheated on him, and he's basically a drunken mess. And that was a lot of it, and when she's in that, neck thing, could explode, and he's put to the test to finally forgive, John Kramer for setting all of this up. He can't, and he takes, a buzzsaw to him, and cuts, John Kramer's throat. But this kills his wife, makes her face explode. So he's just driven into even darker spot because of that. And it was surprising to see her die at the end, because we almost spent more time with her than we did with Jeff throughout the movie. But yeah, all the performances were pretty good. Shawnee Smith as Amanda, I did find a little bit irritating. It just might be the character. But I also did feel like Shawnee Smith did overact in a couple of moments, especially when she was pointing the gun. It felt a little bit, off for some reason. But she was alright, and I appreciate the dynamic they tried to give her with Jigsaw, I guess. But of course, the test for her was to keep Lynn alive, for him, and Jeff comes in and ends up shooting and killing her, and, of course, Jigsaw's fine with that. So yeah, and John Kramer supposedly dies at the end, but it's only the third movie out of 7 or 8 now, so I'm guessing he's alive for a little bit longer in the series. But yeah, overall I thought Saw 3 was actually pretty decent. I did like it. And if I had to rate it, I'm debating, but I'm going to give it for now a B-. I do think it was more enjoyable than the second film. Not quite as memorable as the first still, but definitely in a better direction than the second, for me anyway. So yeah, then we guys thought about Saw 3. I do plan on doing another horror type video today. We got a couple different ideas. Not entirely sure yet, but I definitely want to do more for Halloween for sure. So I'll see you guys a little bit later today. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.